here I just want to take a few moments just to acknowledge confidence. Have you ever had a conversation with a person in the past and they might say something like, I wish I had more confidence? If you've ever had that conversation with someone, how have you historically responded? What I've come to appreciate in recent years is that confidence isn't a fully in, fully out sort of thing. Confidence isn't something that we either have or don't have, because we have confidence in different areas. All right. Some people have confidence in how they look. Some people have confidence in how smart they think they are. Some people can find confidence as they compare themselves with other people or up against other people. Sometimes we find confidence within ourselves as we put other people down. Some people will bully or intimidate others to feel a bit more confident within themselves. Sometimes people will find confidence in their skill set or in that which they create or that which they produce. So we can find confidence in different places and in different ways. But what I want to propose here is that if we want to live, or if we want to learn how to live a strong, a stable and a consistent life, we can only afford to base our confidence upon 3 factors, right? Factor number 1, our confidence is only going to become stronger as we base our confidence upon who we actually are. Not on who we think we are, not on who other people think we are, but on who we actually are. We then grow in confidence as we identify the ability that we have to learn and solve problems. All right? The problem that some people have is they'll go through school or educational establishments, and the main primary learning that they take is that they can't learn. Because some schools and educational establishments are still pretty much living in the dark ages, as if human beings only learn in 1 or 2 ways. Kind of like, if we don't, and if we can't retain information that's written on the board or presented to us orally, then we can't learn. It's nonsense. There are literally, dozens and dozens of different ways in which people learn in life. I'll give you an example here. Back when I was in school, I was labelled as being dyslexic, right? I reckon that if I went through school today, I'd most likely also be labelled as having ADHD, all right? Because I'm a little bit high energy and I've got a very, very fast-paced mind. I've had to work very, very hard on myself over the last decade to kind of slow this down, to regulate it, so that I can make sense of it, right? Understand myself as well. So we find confidence in who we are. We find confidence in our ability to learn and solve problems. And sometimes it can take some people many, many years just to learn how it is that they most effectively learn. Online learning has actually, been a godsend for many, many people. Thirdly, many people will find confidence in what they're able to do well, i.e. their skill set or their talents. Now, the beautiful thing about talents and skill set is that our talents and our skills will never be perfect, which means that we can improve for the rest of our days. The beautiful thing about, our ability to learn is once we appreciate how we can most effectively learn, then we don't have to stop learning for the rest of our lives. And guess what? The more we learn, the more we understand, the more confident and secure we become within ourselves. And there's no greater thing that we can invest into in life than taking time to study and learn and understand who it is that we are. Reason being is because the world is not a helpful place to be in sometimes, and there are many organisations out there who will, jump very, very quick to assign labels onto you, to try to box you in, to put terminologies on you, and if you're not mindfully aware of this, you might even end up succumbing to them. All right, okay, so let us look at some of the mindsets that lead some people into a place of mindless immobility and self-sabotage. All right, what's your relationship like with self-sabotage? Do you know what it's like to be immobile? So from my perspective, being immobile is like kind of being grounded. All right, not grounded in a mature, stable and secure sense, grounded kind of like a ship has literally not been paying attention to where it's going, and it's just grounded itself. It's didn't put on the brakes fast enough, and it's literally just gone right into the sand. It's grounded. It can't go anywhere. It's stuck. This is kind of what some human beings do when they succumb to unhelpful patterns of thinking and never learn how to think differently. Becoming mindfully self-aware is about becoming aware of not just what we're thinking, but also how we're thinking, and sometimes where we learned to start thinking the way that we currently think. Make sense? You catching what I'm cooking? Cool, fantastic. Right, here's Mr. Self-Sabotage, right? We've just popped him through the screen here so we can get a bit of a practical insight into his life. But this is Mr. Self-Sabotage. So don't get me wrong, Mr. Self-Sabotage here, he's got his shirt on and he's got his Gucci self-designer glasses and he's got his slicked back young pop idol hairstyle. So he's pretty cool. And the chicks dig him. I mean, I'm talking proper dig him. He's like hot stuff. He's hot potatoes. He's got a bit of designer stubble going on, a bit like me, a really handsome guy. And when he's socially interacting with people in a crowd, he's like, cool as punch. The guys want to be like him, the ladies want to be with him, some of the guys want to be with him as well, all right? But the problem is when he's by himself, he doesn't carry the same air of confidence. When he's by himself, he has something else going on. Because there's things he wants to do with his life. There's goals he wants to pursue that he's not started yet because at some point in the past he failed. So he has these thoughts racing through his mind. I don't know if you can relate. I failed before, therefore I will fail again. Kind of as if the past equals the future. Kind of as if I'm doomed to repeat in my future more of that which I've experienced in my past. Kind of as if that I do not have the capacity to learn new things or solve problems in new ways. It's kind of like I'm doomed to being exactly the same as I am today for the rest of my life from tomorrow onwards. It's a mindset, it's a thinking pattern, it's based upon some sort of unhelpful belief, but he's not aware of this. Hence the reason he feels so sad. Because he has a little hope for his future. Why? Because he genuinely is looking forward to failing more in the future because he failed in the past. It's a thinking pattern. Mr. Self-Sabotage, he makes himself mobile, he grounds himself, not anything helpful. But he also, he has a certain view of himself, right? He genuinely is of the assumption that he has no power over he acts or how he behaves. There was a mental health specialist a few years ago said, right, Mr. Self-Sabotage, you have ADHD, past life trauma, you have anxiety, depression, stress. Can you name me some more terminologies? Let's just say he's had all of the terminologies placed on him. And he's also a Christian, and he's also Muslim, and he has a tendency to be straight sometimes, and he also likes being gay. He's now got a whole load of different labels that he's contending with, and he genuinely believes that he has no power over how he acts or behaves. None whatsoever. And we wonder why he's feeling a little bit sad and disempowered. Okay. He's come to the conclusion. He's decided, because he failed in the past, this was not good. It hasn't done his confidence any good. It's not served his relationships anyway. Certainly not served his bank balance. So he now understands that he must not do anything that scares him. To do anything that scares him would be reckless. It would be crazy. Which means that, if we can't do anything that scares us, we can't step outside the comfort zone again, ever. We're just going to have to stay in the comfort zone. We're going to have to play it safe. Only problem is if we're playing it safe and staying in the comfort zone, then we're not taking risks, stepping outside of the comfort zone, stepping into the unknown, and pursuing freedom. Freedom does not exist in the comfort zone, so he stays the same. He stays in the same dead-end job that he's not passionate about, he doesn't even enjoy. It's not rewarding, it gives him no fulfillment. Hence the reason when he goes to those social events, he has to put on this show. He needs the designer clothes, he needs his Gucci glasses and his slick pop star hairdo. Why? Because he needs to over-enhance himself, to overcompensate for the lack of security and confidence that he actually has. Big difference between false, over-enhanced, egotistical confidence and authentic confidence. Interesting. Mr. Self-Sabotage, he has some plans for a greater future. He has some goals that he's passionate about pursuing, but he's already decided that he cannot move forward until his plans are perfect. Because there's some answers he doesn't have, and because he cannot move forward until his plans are imperfect, he's scared of failing, of course, because the plans aren't perfect. He's decided that what he actually needs to create is something perfect for his life, with his life, through his life. And this deems him immobile. He doesn't move. He stays in a place of procrastination. He thinks about doing a whole load of stuff with his life, but he never gets around to doing it because I guess the plans will never be perfect. Therefore, he deems himself immobile. He undermines his own intentions. I can't learn to do things that I don't understand. If there's things that confuse me, that means that I'm either stupid, or it means that this other person's stupid, or they're getting it wrong, or maybe I'm getting it wrong, I'm not quite sure. I can't learn to do things that I don't understand. Now, I can relate to Mr. Self-Sabotage here. I historically have had an absolutely diabolical relationship with technology. Right? I spent years and years and years of my life trying to find a technical partner who could build me websites and different businesses and all this kind of stuff, until I realised that I could figure out and do it all by myself. All I had to do was commit to the process of learning. But Mr. Self-Sabotage hasn't had this realisation yet. Because he doesn't know how to do things, he's kind of hovering in the balance of kind of assuming that these things he doesn't understand how to do just can't be done, possibly ever. Therefore, it undermines his confidence. And because he doesn't know how to do some things, well, those things can't get incorporated into his plans, which means his plans will never be perfect. Mr. Self-Sabotage is of the mindset that he must reject other people before they reject him, because he experienced a bit of rejection earlier on in life and it hurt. And it's left him kind of feeling like he has some sort of gap inside, like he's perhaps not quite lovable enough or not quite likable enough. He certainly doesn't want to take a risk and just be who he is or be himself, because he tried that earlier on in life. And obviously, I failed before, therefore I'm going to fail again. I was rejected in the past, I didn't like that, I don't want to be rejected again. But listen, if I was busy being myself in the past, and that's what I got rejected for being, or that's the reason why I was rejected, then I couldn't possibly. I'd be senseless to take the risk and be myself at some point in the future, because I'm bound to just get rejected again. Therefore, I might as well just commit to a lifestyle of trying to be someone that I'm not, trying to fit in, trying to stay safe, trying to appease people, trying to get it right. And the only person who I end up undermining is me. And it was all just a thought. It was all just an idea. It was all just a way of thinking. It was all just mindlessness. It was all just autopilot that never got questioned. Do you see why Mr. Self-Sabotage is Mr. Self-Sabotage? What sort of relationship do you have with Mr. Self-Sabotage or Mrs. Self-Sabotage? Can you relate to any of those thinking patterns? If so, this gives us a starting point for becoming more mindfully aware.